So welcome to a boat review of this cruiser that I've hired from Herbert Woods, who are based at Potter Heigham. It's a former connoisseur cruiser built by Porter and Haylett at Wroxham and has been through various different guises over the years, but now it is known as Western Light 1. She's 40 foot long, she's 12 foot beam, a centre cockpit cruiser capable of passage under all of the Broad's bridges, so that's handy. And I want to go through all of the good and some of the bads that I've found during this weekend that I've spent on her. And we start the boat review, as we often do, pick a place, and today we picked the bow in the forward, what I would refer to as master cabin. So let me take you round this boat, and perhaps it might be a boat that you will be thinking about hiring yourself at some time. So here we are in the forward, what I would refer to as the master cabin, and it is actually a full width double berth. You can see here that Herbert Woods have changed their bedding for this year. They're going for this kind of burgundy duvet covers, which I think is a lot more modern and nice than the former sort of mango coloured and peach rather 90s themed duvet covers. Nice white linen. Unfortunately though, the pillows, well, it's the same everywhere these days. Richardson's are doing the same. I'm not sure if Barnes Brinkcraft have caught on yet as well, but they're very hygienic pillows, but they're covered with a plastic covering underneath, so when that goes over the top of your nice cotton pillowcase, it crinkles all the time. It's non-breathable as well. So these days you might want to do as I do and bring your own pillow. Some people bring the whole bedding from home, but just for extra comfort, if you've got a nice pillow, I bring my own just for that. Now moving around, I did say that the berth was a full width. It does taper off slightly at the front, but otherwise it's a really nice, comfortable, soft mattress. And I bring you on here to the first of many places to put stuff. Here we've got some shelving in the peak of the bow here, and that cover there that you can see is for the hatch here. One of the hatches that opens forms part of an emergency exit system. So once you're clipped that up and closed all the curtains, it's very cozy and nice at night. And you'll see that another feature about this boat is so much of it is moulded. It's all glass fibre gelled in a off-white, sort of almost magnolia colour, so it's not a harsh white, but there is still vinyl. You've still got this nice wood, which if I just pan around here is actually a veneer, but it's a wood effect. You see here it's like a white bleached wood, and it doesn't seem to age. It doesn't seem to make the boat seem, you know, as old as it is. And then you have this nice dark wood trim as an accent. Now if this was, say, you know, a dark wood veneer, it might look a bit 80s or something, but I think they've aged really well. And as well here you've got more of this polished magnolia, we call it, gel coat here, which again is really easy to keep clean. Now Richardson's have sort of copied this in their Broadsman carousels, Commanders, etc, etc, but they've gone really crazy with it. Gel everywhere. It's a very white, brazen, you know, in your face colour. It's almost clinical, but I like the things that they've done here to keep it very easily serviceable, but light and airy at the same time. Now I'm not particularly tall, but I've got full standing headroom in here, and here as well you've got a nice little settee, so you can sit down here, you know, put your shoes on, or talk to your significant other, maybe offer them breakfast in bed. But also if we just come down here, you'll see there is more storage under here, which I'm just using to put some of the extra pillows, because they seem to give you oodles of pillows and beddings at Herbert Woods. So over here on the starboard side, as you can see, is this vanity unit with its large mirror, and it, again, it's more storage. It's like they just couldn't get enough of it, and if there was a space, a void that they could use, they would. And they have here, there's a little clip behind there, and you open that up and it comes up on gas lifters and get stopped by that. And that was actually what gave that away to me, is what the hell was that doing there, but it stops it going up any further. And down here, as you can see, there is the shelf storage. I've just put some pillows in there, but if you know you're a lady and you have your makeup stuff, you can put that behind, close it down. There's a little catch that you use to support that in place, and it's done. Great little dressing table, and they've even included a comfy stool. Coming up here just behind the door is your full-length hanging space. Again, you've got a little shelf, your hangers here, and also hooks. There's loads of hooks on this boat, which is unusual. And while we're looking up at the ceilings, although you don't call that on a boat, deckheads, if we're being honest to ourselves, some of the lights on this boat are the old Osram fluorescent square D types, 9 watts. Take a while to heat up almost, you know, very dull and dim when you first turn them on. But Herbert Woods have changed some of them to LEDs, which is good, power saving, bright. Unfortunately, they've chosen cold white LEDs, so you know, you won't have any sort of nice soft subtle lighting in this boat. It's bright cold white, which is a shame they didn't go for a warm white LED. But this cabin, as I said, is the master cabin, and it is ensuite. So let's see the forward heads. So here we are standing in the heads, and the only issue I really have with this is, why did they use, when they have all this space, the tiny bowl, the half bowl version of these toilets? They could have put a full-size toilet in here, but they didn't. However, it is fully electric, and it's got a logic board to it, because the pump will run, fill it back up and stop. No wipes, it says. There's toilet roll holder there. It's fresh water, it's not river water that fills this up. Nice little shelf here. I like the old hose seasons, complete with the old Bluebird logo, the original shower head, mixer taps. No need to press and hold a shower pump, it's auto draining. Nice sink, again all moulded. Would have been a waterproof curtain there, you can see the hangers, but long since gone. So overall, I think, as I said, this is really one of the best heads I've ever seen on any boats. Now, I've been on new boats, Brink's Rhapsody, I've been on, not hired, but look round, you know, Carousel, Broadsman, etc. Seen the new offerings from Horning Ferry Marina, where they're trying to copy basically small apartment toilet showers, etc. But for this boat was built in the bloody 80s, and it so feels still fresh and up to date. And all of this is all moulded. It's built in. It wasn't sort of constructed after. This would have had to have been all designed at build and part of the original boat mould. You also have a little shaver socket, and the only unusual thing is you would expect, with their love of storage, that this would be a medicine cabinet that would open, but it's not. But yeah, just an absolutely great, and this is just the ensuite, this is just one of 2 toilets and showers. So no shower curtain needed, by the way, none of that clinging on the wet shower curtain. You have your shower, it auto drains, you come out and you're done. So that has been the master cabin here in the bow. Up next, through this door here, is your Wheelhouse Saloon shared with a galley. So, coming out of the main cabin here at the bow of the boat, through an unusual situation on this boat, a lockable door. You have a second key on your key ring, not just for the boat entrance and the engine starting, but also you can individually lock the cabins, and out into a bright, open, airy wheelhouse/saloon/galley area, and it really is lovely. Please forgive me if my voice sounds a bit croaky. I do have a bit of a cold at the moment, so that's why I sound as I do. But look at this. This is your helm position, and again, just as I explained in the forward part of the boat, the entire inside of this boat is all moulded GRP, again with this very nice neutral gel coat colour, not bright white, very easy to keep clean. If there's any sort of scratches, it can easily be compounded out. And I think this is why these boats, despite being over 30 years old, still look fresh and modern, certainly on the interior. You have an interesting helm, because you've got a rather nice positioned wheel. I really love boats with have I do apologise. I really love boats which have steering wheels that are angled at about this sort of place, because you can just gently cruise down the rivers like this. Little inputs, it's nice and easy, it doesn't get in the way. There's a little shelf here for a cup of coffee or a beer. You've got a domestic voltage gauge and a separate alternator. It has two alternators. So when you first start the boat up, you must make sure that both this red light and the main engine charging alternator, orange light, both extinguish. Otherwise you won't be charging your batteries properly. 12 volt accessory socket, unfortunately, doesn't work on this boat, and unfortunately the heating system is quite odd. It's quite old school. It's on or off. It's actually mounted in the engine compartment, which is at the stern of the boat. So the rearmost cabin gets absolutely furnace-like hot, whilst the bow master cabin, being the furthest away, suffers from not much airflow and not much heat. You also find that you've got usual, you know, temperature, oil pressure, engine voltage, warning lights, but this here isn't a rev counter. As you can see, it's a GPS speed. Also gives you course over ground and your miles covered, but it resets every time the engine goes off. But you cannot go wrong in this boat going too fast. You will always know 4 mile an hour, 5 mile an hour, 6 mile an hour. It's very accurate and it's done a very good job. Just over here you've got your water pump, port and centre wipers which auto park, a bilge pump manual switch that does nothing, isn't connected, and a horn which is mounted in the peak of the bow, so actually is better than having a lot of horns on boats. They're mounted like under the dash. Standard Morse controller, handle for the winding canopy. Now on many boats, and this is no exception, you will have an ability to convert the saloon seating into a double berth. But on most boats that do this, it's a protracted affair. You know, you pull out a bit of wood that's got some legs on, you take some seat squabs off of here and you lay them down here, kind of thing. And when you've done it all, it doesn't really look very comfortable. And whoever might be having this area as their sleeping area has no storage space, you know, nowhere to put their personal effects. It's a real afterthought that this seating area should become a berth. Well, on these boats, not only does the forward cabin have a full height wardrobe, but I mean, this could just be for normal, you know, coats, shoes, life jackets, whatever. Or if you are having 6 people on this boat and they have their own hanging space, and that, you know, it's just this thought, these design ideas that have gone into this when it was originally constructed. You've got this seat here which is nice and padded, a speaker for the stereo, and a bar to rest your feet on. When the canopy is retracted, this is your main entry and exit point. You can put stuff up here. And Herbert Woods on this boat, Western Light 1, recent reupholstery. Now you'll see here these two markers in the floor. This is a lino, by the way. And on this particular boat, I did think that it had two rather odd cigarette burn marks, just perfectly positioned, but now I know why they're there, and I'll show you, because it involves this. But before I get to that, there's more storage here. This here is a little stool we've been using as a micro coffee table, but you could take this off the boat, use it as a sturdy stepping stool to get on and off the boat. This was original build. This came with the boat, mint, and has its own little home. Under here, more storage space. In here you'll find more storage for the curtains that are really easy to put up. They just velcro up. More of these LED lights, as you can see. So as I was saying, the sort of storage on this boat and the open plan airy nature of this boat is just great. I mean, yeah, there are similar things. You could say a Pearl 38 and Aquafiber is the same idea. You could say that more modern cockpit boats follow this sort of idea. But even the fact that there's hardly any steps in here, and the ones that are, when you just come in towards the galley, you think, I'm going to hit my head. No, there's a step there, there's a step there. So you'd miss it every time. Unless you're going to be over 6 foot, you haven't got to worry about, you know, bashing your head, despite the fact this is an incredibly low air draft boat. It'll often pass under Potter Iron Bridge when other boats can't. But let's get back on where we're dealing with at the moment. There's so much to talk about, so much enthusiasm. I'll tell you what, Herbert Woods are selling some of these. I'm interested in buying one. It's a shame they're so much money. They're not worth, especially when we come to the outside cosmetics and mechanical details, they're not worth the money that I think Herbert Woods are selling them for. But, you know, what's a boat worth? It's worth whatever someone's going to pay for it. So, you know, my opinion is they're a little bit overpriced. But if they were a little bit cheaper, these would make a great family cruiser. 4 people or a couple with a couple of friends over. Sheila and I have had this over the weekend. We've had no trouble mooring up. Despite the fact it's a big heavy boat, it makes it so easy. It just sits there. It doesn't move about in the wind. It's a very stable boat, walking around, getting on and off, low, wide side decks and everything else. That was the water pump, by the way, no accumulator tank. But anyway, let's talk about storage. Let's get back on track. I know I go on sometimes a bit too much in these reviews, but there's a lot to talk about and pass on to you. Something I find when I'm often on hire boats is the seating is sometimes the bit of the boat that hasn't been given the most thought. It's not very comfortable. You might have a seat that converts to a berth, so it's extra wide, so when you use it as a seat you have to sort of put a couple of pillows to support your back, or else you sit right back so your back's supported and then your legs are up off the floor. Other boats, they have like a wooden rim along here, the seat squab gets compressed, the back of your thighs hit the wooden rim, it's uncomfortable. Other boats, you sit down and that's it. You might as well not be on a boat because you can't see out the windows what's going on because you're so low down and the windows are so high up. But on this boat, not only, yes, okay, it's been, you know, recently reupholstered, but the seats are so comfortable because they've been engineered, designed to be like a normal seat. Not too wide, not too high, just the right thickness. So when you sit down, your back naturally hits the backrest, your thighs comfortably on the squab of the seat, and look, you can see out of the Norfolk Broads all the beauty behind you when you're going along. And not only, like on many boats, do you have to sit sideways on and just like deal with what the scenery's passing here, but as you saw earlier, you can go round here, sit on here, take a handle here, sit up here and see what's going out of the front of the boat, talk to the helmsman. You know, it's this sort of multifaceted design blend on this boat. If you're wondering what that is, that's our sort of solar powered exterior lights that I've actually forgotten about, that brings it all together. But what about converting this into a sleeping berth? Well, let's see how quick and easy that is. Well, there you are. There's your double berth. You simply pull this unit out and it locks in place on those studs. Done. Bed made. But look at this. There's more storage in a whole locker that you can use underneath the seat. Where do you get this on other hire boats? This isn't a case of, oh, let's just bring the essentials or having it all out on show everywhere. This could be sort of chairs, it could be holdalls, it could be fishing gear, it could be whatever you need, and it can just be tucked straight away. And as you can see, this leaves this hole behind us. Sheila is on the boat, if you can hear her coughing, she's suffering the same as I am. I'll try and do this one-handed, it really should be done with two. Now once that's moving, it's so easy. You can just slide it back into place. Clonk, it's now locked into place over in these studs. And there you go. Now it's a seat again. So I've never seen a boat that is so, you know, universally easy to use. And again, these are all moulded, designed at build, weren't an afterthought. I'm just really taken away by it all. Not just for that comfort, ease of use, but just hold on a minute. When Alphacraft and Aquafiber were making boats, why has no one else thought, do you know those Porter and Haylett connoisseur boats with those moulded seats and everything? Well, they were a bloody good idea. Why didn't we use those? Or, you know, whatever. I'm sure these aren't patented. Anyway, let's move on. It is let down a little bit by the most tiny Finlux TV with the most tinny speakers, but hey ho, show me higher boats unless they're premium listings that have anything better than this. It has got a DVD player built in, and in order to use the TV, you have got an inverter, which means you've got a microwave, but you've only got two 13 amp sockets mounted, located here for the entire boat. So it hasn't got any sockets elsewhere for charging phones or using stuff like this. It has a 1400 watt inverter, which is okay if you have a travel hairdryer, but not okay if you've got anything fancy like, you know, hair straighteners, etc. That is where you lower the canopy from, the winch. And if we go up here, you know, you might be used to sort of vinyl screens or you know, bits that leak air and everything else. These are sealed with a rubber grommet. You open that, give it a push, perspex, that's all opened up. You take your handy dandy handle, you take it over here. This isn't a winch, by the way, it's not a cable, it's not going to be one of those where you have to have one person sort of putting tension on the canopy and the other one winding and make sure it doesn't come off the rails. Look at this, look how easy this is. Right, each time you turn that once, it's like a 2-to-1 reduction. So in order to lift the entire canopy back, not only is it easy, one-handed job, it's also quick. The canopy doesn't bend, buckle, come off the runners because it's so heavily laid up. So heavy, so thick. And then, well, hello, we've now got an open air steering position, an open air dining position. I'll show you where the table's kept. They even built the own tables for these boats with its own storage place. Magnificent. Just lovely. There's a Aquafiber Pearl 38, centre cockpit, 38 foot long, 12 foot wide, but not nearly as well thought out as this boat. Do you know, on some sliding roofed boats you have to like unscrew a connector for the lights that operate in the roof? Do you notice this boat you don't have to? Do you notice the lights are not on? Do you know when to stop winding the canopy? Yeah, when the lights turn on, you know it's done. Locked in position. Come on, you gotta like this. And then you just simply lift these up, lock them into place. If the lights go out like they have done, it's simply because we're just about on the contacts. There we go. So that's the saloon, the wheelhouse. But look at the galley. Now at first looks the galley seems quite a compact affair, but it isn't really, because you've got so much usable worktop space. But let's just say first of all, look how open plan it is. You could be going along, cooking or something, making a cup of coffee. You could be cooking for your guests in the evening, but everybody's here. You're not down low somewhere or down the corridor past the door. You're part of the action. This was designed and constructed, as I say, in the late 1980s. This is before we had houses with sort of lounge diners as the norm. This is still when most people's kitchen would have been at the back of the house, just as most galleys on the boats would have been an afterthought, whereas they included it to be part of the living space. We've got a full 4-burner hob, full-size oven, grill and plate warmer, a built-in cutlery drawer, again built-in, designed, built at the time the boat was built. Up here we've got all of our crockery. Behind here is the aft cabin, and this sort of lintel, if you like, hides the dressing table and the lighting, so what works on one side in the galley works on the other side in the aft cabin. Nice sink. Over here is the table with its own little moulded in storage place for it. Cupboards, the microwave, look, all of the place to actually prep stuff with. Not the original fridge, a Waco fridge, but a large Waco fridge, far larger than you're going to find on you know, most of Richardson's boats, which have the size smaller than this. Again, another cupboard here, bread bin, chopping board, all of this worktops, nice height, nice lighting again, smoke detector there, CO detector behind me. Here is the bin. Again, GRP moulded insert, little chain here. I did have to put a screw in to make that. When I first took the boat over, it fell forward on the floor. But look at that, because on most boats you lose out where the sink dips down and the U-bend and everything is. Oh, it's just empty space. Not on this boat. There's more storage there. Put stuff up here. You got your radio there with your speaker here, the other speakers over there. So you're just part of everything, so you don't feel claustrophobic. And down here is the what we would call the day heads. It's a shared door, so you're going through this door, and there's another door into the aft cabin. That's the aft cabin door there, and this here is your main steps out. So when the canopy's up and those stairs, which I showed you on the starboard side, are not in use, again all moulded in, you slide this back to get out. Now let's just go out briefly. I know I don't normally do this, I normally will do this on the end of the video. This could be considered the only sort of downfall of the boat. You either get out of here on the port side or there on the starboard side, but there's a nice rail here, nice wide hydraulic nanny engine, 2 toilets but 1 pump out tank, nice wide side decks. Look how low the freeboard is, easy to get on and off of. So that is the only thing. You've come back, it's night time, you've got to walk across the engine bay, come round here, get the key, unlock this, slide it back, look at those steep steps. You get used to it, take your time, gently ease yourself in, and you're good. But that could be considered for some a bit of a deal breaker, because that Aquafiber 38 there, that's got a nice rear well with a nice door to come out of, or you can come out if the canopy slid back. But that really is the only minus. Now you'll notice that so far I've been talking about the boat as all of its design features and wonders, but not really specifically focusing on Herbert Woods. Now Herbert Woods have not really been going 90 years. Their name may have been around for 90 years, but it hasn't been a continuous family run company for all this time. Herbert Woods has been through a number of different owners, and at the moment, for example, my personal opinion of them is one of brilliant marketing, great website with online live chat, you get a great welcome when you come there, They are doing stuff like, for example, you know, reupholstering some of their boats, but there's a few things where I think they're letting themselves down a bit. For example, the exterior of their boats. Not all of them, but of these connoisseur boats. Mostly these are in their original gel coat still. There's another one in front of us here, in fact. But they got rust stains down the rubbing strakes. This is the beginning of the season. They all use the horrible, lightweight, hard on the hands, polypropylene light blue lines for mooring ropes, rather than nylon ones that all the other boatyards use. And on their older boats, you'll often find a lot of older Perkins or BMC engines, where, for example, Richardson's have decided some years ago now to try and re-engine their boats with nanny engines, so they're just more modern, they don't consume and leak oil so much, they're just generally smoother and nicer, it's easier for them, and the add-on benefit for us as a hire is you do get a smoother running engine. Now this has got a nanny engine, it is on hydraulic drive, so you do get the whine and hydraulic motor. You might pay a bit more in fuel compared to a shaft driven boat, but overall, when you're going along in one of these boats, it really is a very enjoyable, quiet experience. Now I'm going to start the engine up, and I'm going to just take you back outside again. So inside, as you can hear, there's a bit of vibration, there's a bit of noise going on and so on. But when we come outside the boat, this is when you're going to hear the full force of the exhaust. So here, as you can hear, the exhaust note is horrendous because it's got virtually no silencing for the boat. So for everybody around you, while it's really quiet inside, the outside from the astern is awful. Whether you're following these down the river, I just happen to be moored near one, but when you come forward you leave all that sound behind. So if you're moored in front of this boat, you probably wouldn't even know they started their engine. But these are the ropes I was talking about, the rusting rubbing strakes. Just, you know, for the start of the season, could have been presented a little bit more clean and tidy, you know, wash the windows for example. But now we're back in the boat, you can just hear how smooth and quiet it is here. So some people have said, you know, on these boats, how can they not know the racket that they're causing? You know, they're running their engine to heat the water up for a shower or charge their batteries or something. But when you're inside, you have no real conception at all, or perception even, that's my new words, of just how noisy that exhaust is out the back. But overall, I hope that this has given you a good idea of all of the boat. We're just going to do the aft cabin next and the aft heads, but I really wanted to concentrate on the galley, the saloon, the wheelhouse, the forward master, just for its sort of space, practical design, and a boat that is over 30 years old and yet to me still seems very much modern and lovely inside. We've spent a weekend on this. I'd be happy to spend 2 weeks on this. I'd be happy to own one of these. As I say, it's just a shame that the current pricing structure, one could even say for hire as well as for resale, is just a little bit high. This is the 15th of April. We've had it for 3 nights. It cost us, including the damage waiver, including our fuel deposit, £527. And to a lot of people that would be quite expensive for quite an old boat that only really sleeps 4 people. And that again is where Herbert Wood's pricing structure varies compared to say Richardson's, where you might be able to have a 4 berth for about £360, £400. Let's head into the aft cabin and the aft heads. Okay, so finally let's head off into the aft cabin. Now this could be a double or a twin cabin. It's where Sheila and I have been staying, and Sheila's not been feeling too well. I haven't been feeling too well, but she's not long got out of bed, so there's quite a few personal effects left in here. But this would be the sort of minor cabin, if you like, and as you can see, you've got a nice dressing table here. You just sit on the end of the bed. That was the other side where the crockery was, I explained, and there's a light that shines down. There's two drawers behind there, and in here you've got not only a wardrobe but also space to put your shoes. Again, it's all built in, all of this lovely wood that goes throughout the entire boat, and this is what gets to me. I know I keep going on and on and on. This is over 30 years old. This has been through connoisseur cruisers with Ho Seasons, it's been with Le Boat, it's been with Herbert Woods. Think of the countless people, hirers, over all of these years that have been on this boat. Yet, you can see so much of the original features that aren't worn, that aren't broken off, because even like the headlining, it is just the vinyl over some wood. It's not all foam and fancy. They've then got these nice strips all screwed in so it can never sag, so people can't really scrape it, rip it, cause problems with it. And if they do, it's an easy simple strip to replace, not a whole stapled area. So here we got the berths in our double configuration, as you can see. But if you were having just two people here, you know, like say a couple of friends, for example, you can just open them up and they will slide over here, and then you'll have down here somewhere, again, just to separate you, put your personal effects. More hooks, as you can see. The furnace heater outlet is also in here. I like the fact that Herbert Woods have kept the carpeting, not just all of the lino or the ubiquitous holly and teak. Now behind me here is the ensuite entrance into the aft heads, and as you can see, it's not a bad size. It's not quite as large as the forward heads, but again, it's self-draining shower, no need for a separate pump. You've got a shaver socket, again you've got an electric small toilet. You've got the same size basin, but with these classic little 80s taps. Plastic, but they always have this nice sort of squeak when you turn them off, which reminds me of Porter and Haylett boats. They even got their own taps. They're not stainless steel, they're plastic. You might have thought, well, that's not going to last them, but look at it, it has 30 odd years. Not a problem, still going great. Herbert Woods have changed the light here to a LED spot lamp. You've got a mirror, again you've got your mixer taps here, full headroom. I like the little blue bird from when it was in Ho Seasons. More hooks, and again, no need for a shower curtain, and you're not going to flood the shower, because you see how much raised up the door is and what a step down it is into the cabin area. So the shower tray is always lower than the cabin floor, so it can never flood. Just little tiny things that you just don't see repeated time and time again on a lot of the hire boats. Yes, okay, look, this is dated. There's make no bones about this. But I just think, you know, if Porter and Haylett were still going, and they were still producing, you know, maybe a flybridge version of this, maybe a centre cockpit version, and they'd gone with the tinted, bonded windows, and they'd updated some of this to reflect modern tastes and stuff, and they'd kept that same design philosophy, or the design team, what would they be churning out now? It would be like probably, you know, bunks that sort of folded away and disappeared into the wall and became desk and seats when it wasn't being used as a bunk, and all sorts of crazy design ideas. So really and truly, for a secondary cabin, and this is the smaller boat, by the way. You can have a 45-foot version with an extra cabin. This is the 40-foot version boat. And I've been going on a lot, and I've been talking a lot, and I've been banging on about this, but I see it and say it as it is. I think Herbert Woods could do a little bit better, not so much with customer satisfaction, but just the presentation of their boats. The mooring lines, the material that's used for that, some of the features on board are nice and unique to Herbert Woods, but I think that you know, it is a sort of a little race between them, and I think that when you've got Richardson's with their now new policies of not allowing single solo hirers, I could never have normally hired with Herbert Woods. It was only because Sheila was with me that we had the minimum requirement of 2, but Richardson's tend to be heading towards an elite fleet more and more. Norfolk Broads Direct, aka Faircraft Lines, have always been very much an elite fleet, very nice boats but expensive, same as Barnes Brinkcraft, which are trying to be, I could say, the new Richardsons. They have brand new boats that are amazing and technically advanced, and then they have older boats for a budget. And Herbert Woods is an older fleet, and they have standardised their fleet over the years with what you get on board, the type of curtains, the light fittings, the fact all the boats are white now. You know, they've come a long way. But maybe I'm just being a little bit too, you know, pernickety. Perhaps there are a few things on this boat that weren't working that I've either put right, or I've got a list of things that I've got to tell them, you know, like possibly an issue with the fridge, possibly there's the issue with the 12-volt accessory socket, you know, the aerial connector on the back of the telly. There's all these little things, and 1 or 2's fine because you can just go, oh, it's not too bad. £527 boat for 3 nights, and you get 6 or 7 little things, and it's like, these things, you know, could have been checked, could have been known about before we took the boat over. So I've got an open mind. I'm not being too harsh on them. I'm giving them a fair crack of the whip. I come every year with Herbert Woods as part of Lads Week. We did have some issues with the Jewel of Light class of boats. Those issues were addressed by us in emails. Herbert Woods management accepted responsibility and said, you know, thank you for telling us, thank you for sharing. We will put these things right. I still think there's some way to go for, as I say, it's not about customer satisfaction so much. I suppose it's just an eye for detail. Maybe it's when they hand the boats round and the engineers that go on are just not, you know, trying everything and seeing, is that working? Maybe their customers don't tell them enough of what needs to be done when they hand the boat back. So, you know, it's up to us guys. If there's a problem, tell them there's a problem. I always do, whether it's with Richardson's or Barnes or whoever. But it's important that they know, because they can't go out and spend, you know, time on every single boat. But as our holiday ends from this beautiful location here on the Norfolk Broads, at Thorndyke, looking over the White Mill there, this has been a lovely boat, a lovely experience. And despite the fact that I own now, you know, a sharing broad ambition, I've bought a Shearline 740, a 24-foot aft cockpit cruiser, and a Trader 535C boat, and a little tiny rib. None of my boats really seem to be doing much or working very well at the moment. So it's nice to come away on a Broads hire boat and go back to basics and go back to where this obsession and love of rivers, of boating all began, and know it's still there, burning strong in my heart. And here's Sheila, who puts up with so much from me, and, you know, deals with this sort of coming away with me and me bribing her with other things. But she is a star of the show, and she is a great help to have. And I don't know what I'd do without her bower lady and not skills and everything else. And
you're good at it.
Yeah, but you're good as well. You started driving the boats as well. But this is about the boat review. It's not about us. It's about people like us. It's about you out there hiring these boats, keeping these businesses going year after year after year. So give these boats a go. They are slowly being sold off. They are an older boat, but we've really enjoyed it, and I'm sure you will too. So, Connoisseur Cruisers from Herbert Woods, thanks for watching. This has been the Boat Review.